Hello everyone, thank you for watching this video. Today I'm going to focus on another tense. This is again going to be a simple one, and we'll talk about the past simple tense. First of all, I would like to help you to understand when to use the past simple tense, and this is actually quite an easy thing. Well, the first thing to know about the present simple is that you can use it when you talk about some action or event which happened in the past and you know exactly when it happened. So you can use some words like yesterday, a couple of days ago, a week ago, in 1988. So the main thing here is you know when the action happened in the past, and you also know it finished. Yeah, it is not connected with present in any way. I met my husband 2 years ago. Or I watched this film in 2005. So this was an action which happened and finished in the past, and you know exactly when it happened. Another case of using the past simple tense is when you talk about some repeated, some regular actions, again, typical probably actions for you or for anybody or anything else, but in the past. Like you are talking about some period of time in the past, and this period again is over. Yeah. For example, you say, when I was a little girl, I liked apples. I'm not a little girl anymore, I'm an adult. So this period we are talking about is already in the past. It finished in the past, when I was a little girl. And then there was something that was typical for me, so I liked apples. When I was a little girl, I liked apples. Everything is in the past simple tense. And you can also use the past simple tense to talk about some story, like these could be actions or events which happened one after another in the past. It's a kind of narrative, like a story. For example, you are telling your friend about your date. Like you can say, so he invited me to go to the cinema, then we watched the film, we had dinner, and then we went home. That was a great date. Yeah, so these were like several actions happened one after another. And in this case, again, you use the past simple. When you talk about the stories, some stories in the past, this is again the past simple. Okay, now we're going to talk about how to put the verb into the correct form in the past simple tense. And we'll again talk about positive, negative, and interrogative sentences about questions. So for positive sentences, if you have a regular verb, you just put an ed ending to this verb. If you have an irregular one, you are looking for the participle one. So what is actually the participle one? Well, probably I should start from what actually an irregular verb is. And this is what you need to know. In English language, there are some irregular verbs. They don't follow the rules when we change the form of the verb for some of the past tenses. And what you need to do is to learn them by heart. You usually can find these irregular verbs, well, you can find them in the internet, or you can find them in your students' books on the last pages, and this is usually a table with 3 forms of these irregular verbs. In the first column, there is usually an infinitive, then you have participle one. This is exactly what we need for the past simple tense, and then you have participle two. We'll talk about this in some of the next videos. Okay, so again, for positive sentences, if you have a regular verb, you just put an ed ending to the verb, you add it to the verb, and you can say, I worked yesterday. He worked yesterday. If you have an irregular verb, you're looking for participle one. This is the second column in those tables, and you can say, they went to the cinema last week. They went to the cinema last week. Went is this second form, the participle one, for the verb to go. Go is an irregular verb. Okay, then for negative sentences, we will again need an auxiliary verb, and for past simple, it is did. It's actually do in its past form, so did. And to make a negative form of the verb, you need to do the following. You put did, then not, then the verb, the main verb. So did plus not plus the verb. I did not go to the cinema yesterday. I didn't read this book last year. Again, mind that you do not need to change the verb form if you have an auxiliary verb. Then for questions, again, we need to change the word order a little bit, and we need to put the auxiliary verb did first, then we need the subject and then the main verb. And it sounds this way, like, did you go to the theater last week? Did you go? Sometimes you will also need some question words, something like when, where, why, and so on. And if you have this question verb, you put it first. And it sounds this way. When did you go to the theater? When did you go to the theater? Okay, thank you very much for watching my video. I do appreciate that, and I hope you enjoyed it. If so, please press the like button. This will be great. And see you in the next videos.